If your cat vomits and your vet has told you it's just hairballs, this video is going to make you very uncomfortable because healthy cats do not vomit every single day. My cat doesn't vomit every day. That's absolutely ludicrous. He doesn't vomit weekly, he doesn't vomit after eating too fast, and not because he's long-haired or anything. And yet, millions of cats vomit almost daily. And somehow we have decided that this is normal. Today, I'm going to explain why cats vomit on kibble, why it has almost nothing to do with hairballs, and why the thing sitting in your cat's bowl is doing something inside their stomach that it was never designed to handle. Stay with me, because once you see this, you cannot unsee it. Now let's start with the biggest lie in cat ownership. It's just hairballs. Hairballs are neat, they're visible, and they feel logical. Cat licks fur, cat swallows fur, cat throws up fur. Problem solved, right? Except that's not how it works. Digestion in cats works very differently. Wild cats groom constantly, much more than house cats, and they swallow fur every single day. And yet, they don't vomit daily. Hair passes through the gut and it ends up in stool. Vomiting fur means something else already failed first. Hairballs are simply not the cause. They are simply the passenger, they're simply the vehicle. So the real question isn't, why does my cat have hairballs? It is, why is my cat vomiting often enough for hair to come back up at all? That's the question. And the answer, as almost always, lives in the food. Now here's something I cannot comprehend. If you type "my cat vomits every day" or something like that on Google, you will see things like totally normal for cats, some cats are just pukey, and as long as they're eating, don't worry. Now imagine saying that to you or me if you go to the doctor. Yes, I throw up most mornings, but my doctor says it's absolutely fine. You would probably run a mile, wouldn't you? But for cats, we've normalized it because kibble made it common. And this is not because cats are fragile, but because their digestive physiology has never forced to adapt to something it never evolved to eat. Which leads me on to kibble as the primary source of fuel for your cat. This is where things get very interesting. Let's talk mechanics. Kibble is dehydrated under pressure, then coated with fat and flavor sprays. When it sits in the stomach, it rehydrates and expands. In a species designed to eat 70 to 75% moisture prey, soft tissue, bone, and organs, that expansion matters. The stomach stretches and the body interprets it as irritation. And vomiting becomes normal. It becomes a pressure relief valve. Now look at your cat's teeth. They are designed to crunch meat and bone. They aren't designed to eat kibble. That's absolutely ridiculous. And this part almost no one talks about. Kibble creates a dense, dry, carbohydrate heavy slush. To dilute it, the body pulls water from surrounding tissues into the stomach. And that slows digestion in a carnivore's body. And by the way, cats aren't built to process dense carbohydrate loads. They are obligate carnivores with low amylase, no salivary amylase, which means that whenever me and you eat rice or pasta or whatever, we can start breaking it down in the mouth because we have this enzyme that breaks down starches. Cats don't have it because guess what? Cats are obligate carnivores. Look at their physiology. Look at their dentures. So guess what happens? Digestion stalls, and stalled digestion equals vomiting. And by the way, I'm about to get very geeky, so bear with me just a second. Here's a big one. Cats rely heavily on protease, which is the enzyme that breaks down protein in the pancreas. You know why? Because they are obligate carnivores. But kibble protein is heavily processed, it's heat damaged, and it's often plant heavy. Plainly speaking, it isn't biologically appropriate. It doesn't stimulate gastric acid or enzyme release properly. So the food you feed your cat sits in the gut, ferments, and pressure builds. And up it comes, basically. Now, if this has opened your eyes, you must check my cat feeding guide because it's an absolute eye-opener and it'll help you understand your cat a lot better in terms of their physiology, how they should eat, and how to keep them healthy. My cat feeding guide is an absolute invaluable resource that every cat parent, in my opinion, should have. How to feed your cat for optimum health. The link is down below. Now, my cat is a desert adapted hunter. He evolved to get nearly all his water from prey. Cats, generally speaking, do not compensate well for dry diets by drinking more. That's a bit of a misnomer. It's a misconception. So when you feed kibble, you create chronic low-grade dehydration. And what does dehydration do? It thickens gastric contents, slows gastric emptying, and increases nausea reflex sensitivity. It's also bad for UTIs, and it's also bad for your cat's kidneys, which is why so many cats suffer UTI issues and renal issues. Kibble, kibble, kibble. They need moisture, moisture, moisture. But anyway, back to hairballs. Now we have expanding food, a dense sludge, poor enzyme activation, delayed emptying, and dehydrated tissues. Vomiting all of a sudden isn't mysterious anymore. It's predictable. It becomes predictable. But let's circle back to hairballs. Hair is swallowed every single day because cats groom every day. And normally it moves through, it passes through. But when digestion slows, when food sits too long, hair accumulates. And when vomiting happens, hair comes along for the ride. And then you kind of blame the hair instead of the system failure underneath. That's like blaming smoke instead of the fire, which is a bit of an oxymoron. And this leads me on to vets. And this is where things get awkward. Most vets see vomiting cats all day long. When something is everywhere, it starts to feel normal. And because dry food is the default in many occasions, it rarely gets questioned. Instead, we reach for hairball passes, anti-nausea meds, prescription, sensitive stomach kibble, or whatever the case might be, which is still kibble. Same mechanism, different bag. It's the same food, packaged differently. What actually helps cats with hairball issues is a species-appropriate nutrition. This is about mechanics. What helps vomiting cats? Moisture-rich foods, high animal protein, a lot less starch. 0 would be ideal, but if you must, keep it to a minimum. A lot less processing and smaller, softer meals. Cats are meant to eat mouse-sized meals, oftentimes every single day. Mouse-sized meals, not huge banquets every single time you put the food down. Wet food alone here reduces vomiting dramatically. And guess what? Even partial replacement helps a lot. This is an ideology, it's physics and physiology. Now, if your cat is vomiting every single day, I want you to understand that that isn't normal. Feed your cat a species-appropriate diet. Ditch plant proteins. Ditch rice, wheat, barley, corn, soy. A lot of these foods cats are being fed. And your cat will be a lot happier and a lot healthier. And if you still have doubts, you can download my guide, How to Feed Your Cat for Optimum Health. An absolute banger and an absolute eye-opener. And if you are still curious about what the best cat food is, you should check out this video.